Scene script. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to achieve their dreams while others struggle to get by? Well, the answer often lies in one simple yet powerful concept: setting clear goals. Imagine life as a journey. Without a destination in mind, we might find ourselves aimlessly wandering, unsure of the route to take or the sights to see. Just as a traveler needs a map, we need goals to guide us, to give us a sense of direction and purpose. Goals are like the guiding stars in the night sky. They give us a sense of direction and a target to aim for. They motivate us to push beyond our comfort zones, to strive harder, and to persevere in the face of adversity. When we set clear and meaningful goals, we are essentially laying down a path for our future selves to follow. But it's not enough to simply have goals. They must be clear, well-defined, and meaningful. A vague goal is like a blurry photograph. It lacks focus and detail. On the other hand, a clear goal is like a high-resolution image, crisp and vivid. It gives us a precise idea of what we want to achieve, where we want to go, and how we plan to get there. Goals inspire us. They light a fire within us. They make us want to jump out of bed in the morning, ready to take on the world. They push us to break barriers, to overcome obstacles, and to reach our potential. They are the stepping stones that lead us to our dreams. But remember, setting goals is just the first step. The real work begins when we start acting on them. It's like planting a seed. The act of planting is just the beginning. The real challenge lies in nurturing it, watering it, and providing it with sunlight until it grows into a strong, healthy plant. So, set clear, meaningful goals and then work towards them with determination and persistence. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And that first step is setting clear goals. Without clear goals, you're like a ship sailing aimlessly in the ocean. Do you know what makes a goal effective and achievable? That's right, it's not just about setting a goal, but setting a SMART goal. The SMART framework is a tool that helps individuals and teams establish clear, achievable goals. The acronym stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Let's break it down, shall we? First up is specific. A specific goal is a well-defined one. It's not vague or ambiguous. Instead of saying, I want to read more, a specific goal would be, I want to read 20 books in the next year. By being specific, you know exactly what you need to do. Next, we have measurable. This means that your goal should have a clear criteria for success. If your goal is to read 20 books in a year, you could measure your progress by tracking how many books you've read each month. Thirdly, achievable. It's great to aim high, but your goals also need to be realistic. If you've only read 5 books last year, jumping to 20 may be a stretch. Instead, you might aim for 10 or 12. Relevant is the fourth component. Your goals should align with your broader life objectives. If you're aiming to become a software engineer, reading books on coding and software development could be a relevant goal. Finally, time-bound. Every goal needs a deadline. It creates urgency and helps you stay focused. In our example, the deadline is to read 20 books in a year. So there you go, that's the SMART framework. It's not just about setting goals, it's about setting goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And remember, a SMART goal isn't just a goal, it's a roadmap to success. Because when you know exactly what you want, how you'll measure it, whether it's achievable, if it's relevant to your life, and when you want to achieve it by, you're not just dreaming, you're planning. And that, my friends, makes all the difference. Are your goals as specific as they could be? It's a question that may prompt some introspection. Setting goals is a powerful tool, but the effectiveness of this tool is often determined by the specificity of the goals we set. Why is specificity important in goal setting, you ask? Well, consider this. Vague goals lead to vague outcomes. If we set a goal to do better, what exactly does better mean? Without a clear, specific target, we're essentially shooting arrows into the fog, hoping to hit something. We might make some progress, but it's unlikely to be as significant or satisfying as we'd like. Now let's talk about how we can create more specific goals. A crucial step is to define what success looks like in clear, concrete terms. Instead of saying, I want to get fit, consider saying, I want to be able to run 5 kilometers without stopping, or I want to lose 10 pounds. These are specific, tangible targets that give us something clear to aim for. Another tip is to break down larger goals into smaller, more manageable ones. If you're aiming to write a novel, a vague goal might be, write more. A more specific goal could be, write 500 words a day. This not only makes the overall goal seem more achievable, but it also provides a clear daily action plan. Lastly, specificity in goal setting often involves a degree of self-reflection. What is it that you truly want? What does success look like to you? The answers to these questions will guide you in setting specific, meaningful goals that align with your values and aspirations. So the next time you're setting a goal, ask yourself, is this as specific as it could be? If the answer is no, take a step back and refine your goal until it's crystal clear. Remember, the more specific your goal, the clearer your path to success. How can you track your progress if you don't know what success looks like? This question brings us to the next step in setting clear goals, making them measurable. It's not enough to say you want to improve. You need to define what improvement looks like. Making your goals measurable means setting clear criteria that will indicate when your goal has been achieved. This is the difference between saying, I want to get better at public speaking, and I want to be able to comfortably deliver a 20-minute presentation to my team without stuttering. The latter is a measurable goal as it provides a clear yardstick for success. Measurability is not only about setting a finish line, but it also enables you to track your progress along the way. For example, if your goal is to read more books, you might set a target of reading 25 books by the end of the year. This is measurable because you can easily keep count of the books you read and track your progress towards your target throughout the year. Measurable goals are also incredibly helpful in maintaining motivation. Seeing tangible evidence of your progress can be a powerful motivator to keep going. It's one thing to feel like you're making progress, but it's another entirely to see it in black and white. Let's take a student aiming for a higher grade in mathematics as an example. Instead of aiming to do better, a measurable goal might be to achieve an average of 85% on all tests this semester. This is measurable and provides a clear benchmark for success. Remember, what gets measured gets managed. By making your goals measurable, you're setting yourself up with a clear roadmap to success. You'll know exactly where you're heading, and you'll be able to monitor your progress along the way. So, when setting your goals, ask yourself, how will I know when I've achieved this? If you can't answer that question, then your goal probably isn't measurable yet. Go back to the drawing board and refine it until you have a clear and measurable goal. When a goal is measurable, it's easy to know when you've achieved it. So make sure to set clear, measurable criteria for your goals. It's time to turn those dreams into realities. Are your goals within your reach, or are they just wishful thinking? This question is not meant to discourage you, but to prompt you to reflect on the feasibility of your aspirations. It's vital to understand that setting achievable goals is a crucial step in the goal-setting process. You see, when you set goals that are too far beyond your current capabilities, you risk falling into the trap of frustration and demotivation. It's like trying to jump to the moon by merely using a trampoline. No matter how hard you try, you're unlikely to get there, and the repeated failures can leave you feeling disheartened. However, this doesn't mean that you should set your sights low and only aim for easily attainable goals. The key is to strike a balance between challenging and achievable. Your goals should push you to step out of your comfort zone, but not so far that they become unrealistic. So, how do you ensure that your goals are achievable? Well, it starts with a thorough understanding of your current abilities and resources. Analyze your strengths, weaknesses, and what you have at your disposal. Once you have a clear picture of where you stand, you can set goals that stretch you without breaking you. Next, break down your larger goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. This not only makes your goals seem less daunting, but also provides a clear roadmap to your ultimate destination. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and you can't expect to achieve your big goals overnight either. Consider seeking feedback from others as well. Sometimes we can be too close to our own situation to see it objectively. A fresh perspective can help us adjust our goals to make them more achievable. Lastly, don't forget to celebrate your small wins along the way. This can boost your motivation and keep you focused on your journey towards achieving your larger goals. A goal without a plan is just a wish, so make sure your goals are achievable. Make your dreams a reality by setting goals within your grasp, yet challenging enough to inspire growth and progress. After all, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Do your goals align with your long-term plans and aspirations? It's an essential question to ask ourselves when we're setting our sights on the future. Our goals should not be arbitrary targets, chosen for the sake of having a goal. Instead, they should be relevant to our personal values, interests, and long-term plans. Let's think about it. If you're an avid environmentalist, would it make sense for your goal to be becoming the CEO of a company that's notorious for its environmental degradation? Probably not. This goal doesn't align with your values and passions, and you're likely to find yourself struggling to stay motivated and committed. Instead, a more relevant goal might be to start your own sustainable business or to work towards influencing environmental policy. These goals resonate with your personal values and interests, which in turn fuels your motivation and increases your chances of success. When our goals are relevant, they feel less like chores and more like exciting challenges. They become part of our identity, shaping the way we see ourselves and the world around us. And when we achieve these goals, the sense of fulfillment is not just about the achievement itself, but also about the personal growth that we've experienced along the way. But how do we ensure that our goals are relevant? Start by asking yourself, why do I want to achieve this goal? Your answer should relate to your personal values, interests, and long-term plans. If it doesn't, it might be time to reassess your goal. Also, consider the potential impact of your goal on your life. Will it add value? Will it bring you closer to the person you want to become? If the answer is yes, then you're on the right track. Remember, your goals are a reflection of who you are and who you aspire to be. They should be intimately connected to your life's vision, acting as stepping stones towards your ultimate destination. So, the next time you're setting a goal, ensure it's not just smart, but also relevant. Because your goals should be relevant to the life you want to lead. Do you have a deadline for your goals? Setting a timeline for your goals is like setting a date with success. Without a deadline, your goals are like ships adrift in the ocean with no destination in sight. A time frame gives your goals direction and purpose, creating a sense of urgency that can propel you towards achieving them. Consider this, if you want to learn a new language and you say, I'll learn it someday, chances are that someday may never come. But if you say, I'll be fluent in Spanish in 6 months, you've just set a deadline. It's specific, it's tangible, and it gives you a clear finish line to aim for. Now let's talk about how to set realistic deadlines for your goals. The key here is to strike a balance. If your deadline is too lax, you might procrastinate. If it's too tight, you might feel overwhelmed and give up. So how do you find this balance? Firstly, break your goal down into smaller, manageable tasks. If you want to read 20 books this year, that's roughly 1 book every 2.5 weeks. Suddenly, it doesn't seem so daunting, does it? Secondly, consider your other commitments. We all have 24 hours in a day, and it's important to allocate time for work, rest, and leisure. Will you be able to dedicate an hour each day to your goal? Or maybe just 15 minutes? Be realistic about the time you can invest. Lastly, allow for flexibility. Life is unpredictable. Sometimes things don't go as planned, and that's okay. If you find that your deadline is too stressful, it's okay to adjust it. Remember, the goal is progress, not perfection. So, whether it's a small personal goal or a grand life ambition, don't forget to set a timeline. It's the difference between saying, I'll do it someday, and I'll do it by this date. A goal with no deadline is just a dream, so set a timeline and start working towards your goals. So, what have we learned about setting clear goals today? Indeed, we've journeyed through the powerful realm of goal setting. We've discovered that goals are not merely wishes, but clear, well-defined targets that propel us to greater heights. We delved into the SMART framework, an effective tool to help us shape our goals into specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound objectives. We learned how to set specific goals that are detailed and focused, and how to make these goals measurable, so we can track our progress and stay motivated. We also explored the importance of setting achievable goals that stretch us without breaking us, and keeping our goals relevant to our lives and our dreams. Lastly, we highlighted the need to set a time frame for our goals, giving us a clear deadline to work towards. Remember, the clearer your goals, the stronger your desire to achieve them. So go ahead, set your goals and make your dreams a reality.